Hello, and thanks for joining us for BSides Pittsburgh 2026 Speaker Series. My name is Justin Leapline, and I'm one of the hosts on the Distilled Security podcast. Today, I have with me Dan Brown. Dan, could you introduce yourself and give a brief overview of your
Sure.
talk?
I'm Dan Brown. I am a cybersecurity educator. Um, I've logged decades in the cybersecurity field. And my talk is essentially back to basics, living off the land with some homegrown tools. Um,
Oh, okay.
so,
Gotcha.
I mean, it's something that's been kind of near and dear to me. I find my students come in and everybody kind of wants to know the latest greatest tools to begin with. Well, they're kind of neglecting some of those basics. And so my talk pretty much
Gotcha.
takes them through how I got involved in cybersecurity. Spoiler alert, purely by chance. I won't get into the details. Got to get people incentive to come to the talk. But uh, knowing those basics can really help you moving forward um, in understanding and really appreciating what those tools can give you.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right in that. From a cybersecurity field, it's one of the only fields where you need some type of entry level education, into that before you actually get into it, like knowing how things work, into that and what comes default on Windows or whatever it may be. And, you have a whole command line like PowerShell, what can you do with that if it's installed, into there. So, yeah, I think that would be a great talk, with especially the younger generations and even the older ones. We take that for granted, and a good reminder every now and then, and be like, oh yeah, you probably shouldn't have these installed
Uh,
if you don't use it, type of thing.
Honestly speaking, I have my favorites that I go back and revisit just as kind of a refresher or reminder. One of my personal favorites is the Unix programming environment, and it's a bit dated,
Mm,
but at the same time, it's a good reminder of that philosophy behind Unix and Linux, by extension, that kind of keeps you thinking about how can I utilize these tools that I already have at hand as part of every standard install and make use of those to do what some people might view as some more advanced cybersecurity operations.
yep. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm in the same boat as you. I grew up, my dad did an ISP, and we built it on Solaris Spark stations. We had the old pizza boxes lying around in our house and everything like that. So, yep. So with your talk and everything, what are you hoping some of the audience walks away with
Well,
after hearing you?
one, I'm hoping that I'm inspiring the next generation of cybersecurity professionals. I want to instill that curiosity. And some of the things that we talk about, I demonstrate some essentially no cost resources that are available that the people who are attending can take. I provide links at the end, don't worry. But different environments that right within your browser, you can essentially learn things like where things are. You mentioned earlier, knowing where things are in the operating
Mm,
system. You can poke around. Oh, I broke it. Guess what? You refresh it in your browser, and that virtual machine reloads, and you're good to go. Um, one of
mm.
the tools is actually network aware, so students can start to poke around a little bit. I share it with my students, but obviously attendees can start to poke around and learn some of those basics of networking. Kind of once again going back to the networking aspect. Uh, Resources like, for example, environments that will let them essentially learn how to shell script in a safe environment, so that they don't have to worry about if I broke
Oh,
something.
okay.
My focus, because of my background, tends to be a lot more Unix, Linux. Um, but there have already been some discussions about maybe extending this into essentially the Windows world and talking about some of the basics that you can use just from the command prompt and then eventually the PowerShell. So the idea is the
Okay.
people who
Great.
attend are going to have essentially some tools leaving that they can safely explore those basics, practice those basics, and then hopefully apply those basics in their everyday, studies, curiosity, work, whatever.
Great. So on a kind of softball question here, what else are you looking forward to from B-Sides Pittsburgh? Is this your first time
No,
joining?
no. This is actually my
No?
third, I
Okay.
believe. Um, So
Oh, okay, gotcha. Veteran now.
it was one of those that I've been attending, and at the same time, like I said, I've been an instructor for a while now, and I'm like, maybe I should put
Mhm.
a talk together because I found myself kind of bringing up the same points over and over again in the classroom, and so I figured it might be a good thing that maybe there's something there. Um, so on one hand, I mean, I'm purely excited that I'm attending as a speaker, not just as an attendee. Uh,
Mhm.
but it's great to see some of those old faces. It's great to see what other people are
Yep.
looking at. Um, you know, people think that cybersecurity is this one big monolithic thing, and there are so many aspects of it. And it's great going to something like B-Sides Pittsburgh, where you can see people are talking about ham radio. You've got your lockpick village. You've got,
Mhm.
your capture the flag. You've got people talking about uh, uh, incident response. You've got people talking about tools. You've got people talking about techniques. And for someone who is kind of just getting into cybersecurity, having that buffet like menu that they can kind of pick a little bit of this and a little bit of that and pop into this village and pop into that village and just network is great. So I love going and seeing everybody and touching base. And I usually kind of go through and put my schedule together. I'm like, oh, I'd really like to go to this talk. But then at the same time, I find myself sometimes I don't make those talks because those hallway conversations are sometimes the best part of going to these conferences.
Right.
You run into somebody or you catch somebody after their presentation and you're like, "Hey, so tell me more about that." And so that's what I'm excited about is just that
Yeah.
being there, that community feeling is the best way I can put it. And knowing that
Yeah.
we're all coming
100%
from
agree with you.
different directions, but we're all coming together to discuss at least a topic in general that we're all very, very passionate about, and I think that's the best part.
Yep. Yeah. You couldn't have said it better. That's a awesome thing to end with here. Thank you so much, Dan, for taking the time to speak here about your awesome talk. For the audience, make sure you go and see Dan's talk about living off the land here into that. And stay tuned for some other talks that we're going to be releasing out with other speakers, and they're great talks coming up. Thank you so much.
Take care,
Bye.
Justin.